You probably remember that moment when Ricky Gervais roasted Hollywood on stage and made the room freeze. He joked about powerful people, dropped the Epstein name, and suddenly nobody was laughing. Now those jokes feel less like comedy and more like warning signs. In this video, you'll see why certain celebrities are quietly selling homes, packing fast, and leaving the country. The timing is strange. It's all happening just as explosive files are about to go public. Their teams claim it's politics or retirement, but patterns don't lie. Before we get into who's running, here's what's unfolding right now. The government recently released new images and videos from a private island in the Caribbean. The rooms, the furniture, even a disturbing medical-style chair raised alarms. An old phone was also found, with names blacked out. Officials say it was for safety, but that only made people more nervous. And now, pressure is rising fast for everything to be released. No more delays, no more secrecy.
Hell are you trying to hide? In 3 days, President Trump has a choice: follow the law and release the files, or break the law and continue to hide the truth from the American people. Let me be blunt. We fully expect Trump, Bondi, and their minions to dodge, delay, or partially release these files. If they release some documents and hide others, the American people will see right through it, and they'll ask the obvious question. We are all asking the obvious question that looms. President Trump, what are you trying to hide? President Trump, what are you trying to hide?
Senator Schumer didn't hold back. He called out Trump directly, asking, "What are you hiding?" reminding everyone that a transparency law now forces action. If Trump doesn't release the files, people will demand answers. Loud, unstoppable questions. And then there's Lisa Phillips, a survivor of Epstein's crimes, who went on television and dropped a bombshell. She said she has her own list of names, people involved in Epstein's world. She didn't hesitate, looking straight at the camera, declaring she knows exactly who did what. Her words alone have everyone talking, sending chills through Hollywood and beyond.
Survivors have been discussing creating our own list. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now, together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know. In the year 2000, I was taken to Jeffrey Epstein's island while on a photo shoot on a nearby island. Who I saw and what I experienced there was a glimpse into a very dark and disturbing world. For years after, I tried to avoid Jeffrey. Epstein's reach went to the very top of fashion, arts, and entertainment. This did not just happen to underage girls in Florida.
So yeah, that's why the panic feels real. These upcoming files reportedly reference more than 150 people hidden inside sealed court documents. And some of Hollywood's biggest names know they could be mentioned. What Ricky Gervais joked about years ago is now circling back. And it's worth pausing on Ricky for a moment, because he warned everyone in plain sight. At the Golden Globes, he stood on that stage and tore into the room without fear. He looked straight at powerful executives and joked that they were all scared of one journalist. That journalist was Ronan Farrow, the man who exposed some of Hollywood's darkest secrets. The audience laughed, but the tension said everything. That joke didn't land because it was funny. It landed because it was true. And now, with these files about to surface, that old moment feels less like comedy and more like a prophecy. coming true.
Well, no one goes to the cinema, no one really watches network TV. Everyone's watching Netflix. This show should just be me coming out going, well done Netflix, you win, everything, good night. But no, we got to drag it out for 3 hours. You could binge watch the entire first season of Afterlife instead of watching this show. That's a show about a man who wants to kill himself because his wife dies of cancer, and it's still more fun than this, okay? Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself, just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up! I know he's your friend, but I don't care.
Ricky didn't stop there. He mocked Hollywood for making questionable movies and warned celebrities to stop lecturing everyday people when they barely understand real life. He even joked they spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. Harsh, but the room laughed nervously. Then, everything changed. Ricky said Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. Silence. No laughs, just tension. He followed it with, I know he was your friend, but I don't care. Looking back, those jokes feel like warnings. Now, celebrities are leaving just before major files drop. First up is Ellen DeGeneres. She's officially left the US and moved to the UK. Not on vacation, but permanently. Her team says it's about politics, but recent reports say she can't be served legal papers in a lawsuit because she's overseas. The word used was hiding. And people haven't forgotten she once admitted knowing about Diddy's late-night parties. The timing raises questions. Then there's Richard Gere, a Hollywood legend who just sold his massive Connecticut estate at a loss and left the country weeks before the deadline. His team says Spain was always the plan. Critics call it panic selling. And next, Eva Longoria quietly followed. Now let's talk about Eva Longoria. The Desperate Housewives star isn't desperate to stay in the US anymore. She's been dividing her time between Spain and Mexico, and even called America dystopian, basically saying it feels like a nightmare. Publicly, she says she wants her son raised away from Hollywood. Sounds reasonable. But here's the detail people noticed. Eva suddenly dropped the price on her Beverly Hills mansion. When wealthy people slash prices, it usually means they need out fast. Not later, now. She's making a quiet exit, moving her family and money without a big announcement. And the timing lines up right before those files are expected. Then there's Rosie O'Donnell. She didn't just leave, she moved to Ireland and said she's never coming back. That's not a trip, that's exile. Rosie has been a Hollywood insider for decades. She knows everyone. So people are asking if she knows what's coming. Next are Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes. They're reportedly looking at homes in London, planning an escape from Hollywood. And finally, questions deepen with Blake Lively, who once attended a party alongside some very controversial figures. The guest list from that party reads like a highlight reel of Hollywood scandals. People tied to cover-ups, names linked to trafficking claims, and figures exposed for shocking behavior. This isn't about blaming anyone specific, but it shows how tightly connected these circles really are. One party, one night, and suddenly you're linked to people who are now facing serious consequences. That's why panic is spreading, even if someone did nothing wrong. Being photographed in the wrong room with the wrong crowd can destroy a career overnight. And when it comes to Epstein's private island, the visitor list only fuels the chaos. Some trips had explanations, like a science conference attended by a world-famous physicist. Others raised more questions. A legendary filmmaker was reportedly seen with Epstein at his Manhattan mansion more than once. A powerful fashion executive allegedly brought multiple models to the island. And a supermodel was known to be close to Epstein's longtime associate. The connections alone are enough to make people nervous. Survivors say Naomi would have seen what was happening. Chris Tucker flew on Jeffrey Epstein's private jet during a charity trip to Africa. He insists nothing illegal took place, but the flight still happened. Kevin Spacey was on that same trip. and his name already carries heavy baggage. Prince Andrew faced multiple allegations involving a minor. He was never convicted, yet he paid millions to settle, and that alone raised eyebrows. Donald Trump also had ties to Epstein and flew on his plane several times. He denies ever visiting the island, but the connection remains. Then there's Bill Clinton, who logged more than 26 flights on Epstein's jet. That's not random. That's a pattern. And this is why it matters. These people aren't acting alone. We're watching the same moves happen at the same time. Homes sold at losses. Assets quietly moved. Relocations to countries beyond easy reach. These aren't vacations. They're exit strategies. With December 19th getting closer, the scramble is obvious. When people know something big is coming, they don't wait. They prepare, protect, and leave. Years ago, Ricky Gervais warned that Hollywood was hiding dark secrets and powerful people doing terrible things. He joked about Jeffrey Epstein when almost no one else dared. Now, people are watching major names in entertainment quietly step back before more truth comes out. Ellen DeGeneres is staying low in the UK. Richard Gere is selling his mansion in a rush. Eva Longoria is reportedly relocating her family. Rosie O'Donnell has said she doesn't plan to return. The pattern is getting harder to ignore. With the December 19th deadline approaching and Senator Schumer pushing for full transparency, many believe we're about to see just how much Ricky was right about. As more names surface, the exits keep happening. Which celebrity move shocked you the most? And who do you think will be named next?